I'm David. I'm a former instructor at the PGA Tour Academy with the World Golf Hall of Fame and current pro with Power Tee and sales representative for them. We're going to discuss a little bit about how to shape shots and how the benefits of Power Tee can help you learn to do that quicker. Well, I want to show you a little bit about the Power Tee alignment system. It's a very simple system that's going to help you get set up properly each time, and we'll actually show you how to use it so you can learn how to shape shots. We've got two simple strings down here. We've got one that we're going to set up with the ball in line with it. That's going to be for our ball position. We've got a second line here that's going to be our alignment. That's where we're going to try to set our feet parallel to the target line. We've got a couple other discs here. We're going to set these up right now to be going down the target line. That's what our swing path is, what we're shooting for a straight shot. And then we've got a third disc. That's kind of our aiming point. A lot of people will use that point in front of the target line to try to set themselves up. So we're going to go ahead and set up here. Got my ball position with my line. My feet are parallel to that. Make a simple swing. So that's for a normal straightforward shot. We're trying to hit that ball pretty much dead straight. Okay, so one of the great things I love about these lines compared to, say, typical alignment rods is that when I'm set up and I'm moving and I'm hitting shots, no matter what I do to the lines, they're always going to end up right back in the same spot. So hitting them, moving them, if I kick it with my feet, it's going to come back to the exact same spot. I don't have to readjust each time. Okay, so the big advantage about using a Power Tee and practicing is the fact that I have a repeatable environment. Every time I set up, I'm going to strike a golf ball. I'm going to be in the exact same position for the next one. I don't have to worry about a sandy golf ball. I don't have to worry about sandy grooves. I don't have to worry about anything in my grooves. So I can make a shot, hit a golf ball, see how it goes. If I like it, I can repeat it. If I want to make a small change, I can make that small change, but know that the rest of it is going to be exactly the same. Okay, so a really fun drill to do on Power Tee is a famous drill that Tiger's done throughout his career, and was actually one that Johnny Miller is famous for. It's trying to hit the 9 windows. So in that sense, it's trying to hit the low draw, the low straight, the low fade, medium, low straight fade, and high straight fade. So we're going to go ahead and get set up this way, and we're going to try to go through each one of those shots, just making small adjustments to my setup to make each one of those shots happen. So what I've done first is I've actually set up the entire Power Tee alignment system in a dead neutral position. Our ball position is going to be pretty much right in the center, and we've got our alignment that's going to be parallel left. We're going to zoom in now so you can see what I'm doing, because we're going to have to make small adjustments to ball position and face angle to hit each one of those windows. Okay, so we're going to start with the low draw is one of the easier ones to hit. Those two things go together. So what we're going to do to hit that low draw, we're going to go ahead and set the face angle, and we're going to have it set a little bit left. We want to set the face angle first before you take your grip. You don't want to take your grip or have your grip and then try to close it with your hands. So we're going to set the face angle pointing a little bit left. We're going to set our feet angle pointing a little bit to the right because we need that closed stance to help create that draw spin. And then we're also going to move the ball position a little bit back in our stance. That's going to help hit that low spinning draw.
Perfect.
So that's how you hit the low draw. So now for the straight low shot, it's very similar. We're just going to get set up. The only thing we're going to change here is the ball position is going to be back in our stance. We're not going to close or open the club face. We want to keep that club face nice and square. So we're going to set up square, ball position back, make our normal swing, maybe cut it off just a little bit to help keep that ball down. And there's the low shot. And then finally, the hard one of all the low shots is the low fade. Whenever you're fading a shot, you got to open up that club face. That's actually going to add a little bit of loft, so it makes it a little more difficult to hit the low fade. But it's very similar to the draw. Again, we're going to set the club face where we want the ball to go, so we're trying to get that ball to curve to the right. We're going to set it up a little bit right, then take our grip. We're going to open up our stance so we swing along to the left, and again, ball position back because we're trying to hit that ball nice and low. There's the low fade. So now we're going for the medium trajectory. This should be your stock ball position. We're just going to be setting or changing our setup a little bit to make the different ball flights. So we want that that normal trajectory, we're going to put I got an 8-iron in my hand, it's going to be middle of my stance. I'm going to be setting up for a slight draw. So again, club face pointed slightly left, take my grip. Now I'm going to set my stance slightly closed, so my back foot, trail foot is going to be behind my lead foot. I'm going to swing along my body lines and hit that draw. And there's the medium trajectory draw shot. Now the hardest shot for pretty much all golfers is the straight shot. We all want to hit that shot, but it's going to be setting up nice and neutral, not changing face angle, not changing body position. We're going to keep the ball position in the center and try to make sure that we're swinging down the target line with a nice square club face. And there's our medium trajectory straight ball. And then finally, we've got our medium trajectory fade. So we're going to get set up again, ball position in the middle, club face, we're setting slightly to the right. Alignment, our feet and shoulders are going to be aiming left. And now we're just going to swing along our body lines and keep that club face open. And there's our medium trajectory fade. Now come the hard ones, the high shots. These have a tendency to hit a little bit fat. You got to really make sure that your body's going to continue moving through because you still got to get to the left side. But what we're going to do to this one, we're going to hit the high draw. So what we're going to do, again, club face slightly shut, but now we're going to move the ball position a little bit forward to center. So I'm going to move the ball position slightly forward. Again, drop my back foot. I'm going to feel like I'm tilted a little bit away from the golf ball now because I'm trying to hit that ball nice and high. Swing along my body lines with that club face a little bit closed, and we should hit a high draw. Now there's the high draw. Alright, so same setup concept for hitting the straight ball. Now we're just not going to shut anything down. We're going to get everything nice and square with our lines. Ball slightly forward. Feel like I'm tilted a little bit back. And really focus on turning through it. There's the high straight shot. Now finally, the high fade. Again, club face slightly to the right, ball position slightly forward. I'm going to aim my body lines to the left. Still tilting away a little bit to get that all nice and high. Swing along the body lines. There's the high fade. Alright, so now that we've been through the whole setup of how to hit those 9 windows, go through the actual system that we have here. These reference lines that we have in the Power Tongue alignment system give me a point of reference that allows me to put the golf ball in the exact same spot each time. So now I'm not worrying about, is my setup right from swing to swing? I know that I have the ball in the exact same position each time, so then any change in ball flight is down to my mechanics. It's not down to lie. It's not down to maybe a sandy golf ball or sand in my grooves or anything like that. Those things can affect spin rates and change how the ball actually comes off. Off the power tee, I know it's strictly down to my mechanics. And if I don't get the shot that I want, I can search for a mechanical issue, not a setup issue. Okay, so 90% of the golfing public struggles with a slice. And that's usually because of an over-the-top move with an open club face. We can accomplish a lot of what we're trying to fix with that by using an alignment system such as this one. We've got our lines, and we know that we're going to be setting up nice and square to our target line. But these 2 little dots here will help us in a reference for our swing path. That's a big issue with getting rid of that slice. So if you're struggling with the slice, we're going to go ahead and get you set up nice and square with these lines, but we're going to set up these 2 markers to be pointing out to the right. Now your goal is to swing that club along that line. You're going to create a line with the 3 markers. So I'm set up nice and square, and I want to feel like my club path is swinging out across those markers. And if I do that, I should not be able to hit a slice. Inside out motion produces a little bit of a draw. Okay, so one of the big problems that most people have with mats is the fat shot. If they hit it fat off a mat, it tends to be a pretty decent shot. A couple things about that is, one, when you hit it fat on a mat, yes, the ball will tend to go a little bit better than it will off of grass. But make no mistake, you'll know that you hit it fat. You'll feel that you hit turf before ball. You'll actually hear it. So I'm going to go ahead and set up and try to hit one a little bit fat, and then I'll hit one that's clean, and you can be able to tell the difference in the sound. And you'll see that there's actually a big difference in ball flight too. So here comes the fat shot. You could hear turf before ball. It was a thick sound. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit the nice clean shot now. So that was crisp contact. I could feel that it was much better contact. I hit golf ball, then turf, compressed the golf ball. Much better sound, much better feel. Okay, so one of the great things about power tee is because we're getting in that same setup position, we can do a lot of experimentation. One of my pet peeves on the golf course is I have a tendency to hit the block. That's my big miss. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to replicate my miss, hitting a block shot, and then trying to make some small adjustments to my setup to make sure that I don't hit that shot. So here we go. We're going to try to hit the one shot that I hate hitting most of all is a block. So there's the block. I cannot stand when I hit that shot. So what I need to feel when I'm hitting that block is I know that my path is coming way too far to the inside. So what I'm going to do is make the adjustment in my setup. I'm going to stand just a touch further away from it. And I'm going to feel like I'm swinging along those dots that we have set up. I don't want coming too much from the inside because that's where the block comes from. So I got my dot set up, stand a little further away from it, let it rip. Back on track to a nice straight shot. Okay, so the block shot is my pet peeve, and one of the great things that I've learned by using the alignment system here with Power Tee is how to avoid using or getting that shot. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is set up. I've got my point in front that I'm going to use to square up my club face. And what I've learned is I can actually use the back disc here as a point of reference to try to swing the club over so I don't hit that block. So I'm going to set up, get my face nice and square to the dot up in front, and I'm going to use the dot in the back as a reference to swing the club right over that so I don't hit the block. Swung right over the dot, no block. So what I have found in my years of competition is the block shot generally comes out when I get very nervous. So what I've learned from using this 3-dot system is now when I feel like I'm in one of those stressful situations where that block might come out at a bad time, is I've learned to actually not only pick a point in front to align my face to, but I look for a point behind the golf ball so I can swing over that and try to avoid that block shot.